All right, guys, so lesson 8.4 is just more two-step equations. These are a lot like the ones you worked on in lessons 8.2 and 8.3. They're just a little bit more spicy. Oftentimes, the grouping symbols have joined the party, and that means there's a little more thinking involved before you can isolate your variable. Remember, the parentheses are a bit like jail. You cannot subtract the variable from inside the parentheses. You have to first get rid of the parentheses before you can start to isolate it. So you've got some choices to make. I have two things that I can think about doing here. First of all, I could distribute the 4 outside of those parentheses and bring it inside the parentheses, and that would get rid of them. I could do that first, and then I can figure out what x must equal. Or in this situation, because 4 is on this side and negative 28 is very friendly with 4, I can go ahead and avoid the distributive property altogether, and I can just divide this side by 4 and divide this side by 4. The reason why I've chosen to do that is because negative 28 is compatible with 4. So when I divide both sides by 4, bonk, bonk, the x plus 3 comes down and we no longer need the parentheses. Yay! The variable is no longer in parentheses jail. And then we go ahead and simplify this side. Negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. Brilliant. We're almost done now using inverse operations to isolate our variable. We just have to subtract 3 from both sides. Subtract 3, x equals negative 10. And of course, you'd go ahead and check that solution like you already know how to do. But in the interest of time, we're just going to try another one. Don't forget to check your solutions. So here's another example. Ew. There's a fraction going on here. It's outside the parentheses and it equals this number. Do not turn 3/5 into a decimal. I see you. Keep it as a fraction. Just because it's a fraction doesn't mean you have to get scared. We know what to do. Again, we have some choices. I could take the 3/5 and I can distribute it inside these parentheses. 6 and 5, they're not particularly compatible. This is just going to become a fraction here and a fraction here. So I could do that, but maybe I can figure out something else to do. I don't want the 3/5 here because I can't get to my variable, but if I simply just multiply this side by 5, and I multiply this side by 5, this thing starts to look a little bit better. Then my fraction goes away, and I just have 3. M minus 6 is still in parentheses, and that equals 40. All right. So, hang on, let me fix that. That equals 40. Now, I could divide both sides by 3 right now, but gosh, 40 isn't very compatible with 3. So I think I'll go ahead and use the distributive property. I have choices. 3m minus 18 equals 40. Gosh, the distributive property did a good job of getting rid of those parentheses. Now I just keep moving. I need to add 18 to both sides. I have 3m on this side equals 58 on this side. Don't start to panic. Sometimes your numbers are not going to work out to be nice, neat integers. That's true. 58 is not divisible by 3. That's okay. We can go ahead and leave our answer as a fraction. M equals, let me clean that up, M equals 58 thirds. Done. Good luck.